Hello students, welcome back to yet another session on ionic equilibrium. Now in today's session, we shall understand what is meant by hydrolysis of salts. Basically, there are four types of salts. You can classify the salts on the basis of which type of acid and base have reacted together to form the salt. Because what is salt? Salt is nothing but the product which is obtained when an acid and a base react with each other, right? So depending on which acid and base have gone into the formation of this salt, you can have four types of salts. The first one is a salt of a strong acid and a strong base, or you could have a salt of a strong acid and a weak base, or you could have a salt of a weak acid and a strong base, or you could have a salt of a weak acid and a weak base. So let us understand all these types of salts in relation to hydrolysis in a short while. Now, what do you mean by hydrolysis? Now, in the earlier sessions, we understood that water undergoes ionization to a very little extent to form hydronium ions and hydroxyl ions. Okay, so when we add the salt to the water, what happens? The salt also will undergo ionization and it will form its constituent positive and negative ions, right? So now these positive and negative ions of the salt will react with the positive and negative ions present in water. That is, they will react with the hydronium and the hydroxyl ions. And as a result of this reaction between the ions of a salt and the ions of the water, the solution may become either acidic, basic, or it remains neutral. So this reaction between the ions of a salt and the ions of the water to produce acidity, basicity, or neutrality is what is known as hydrolysis of the salts. So let us take the salts one by one and understand how the hydrolysis takes place. So we begin with salts of strong acid and a strong base. So for example, if I were to take a strong acid like HCl and a strong base like NaOH, then the salt that we get will be NaCl, right? Sodium chloride. Now what happens when I put this sodium chloride in water? The moment I put the sodium chloride in water, it forms HCl and NaOH. Okay, the positive ions of sodium will combine with the negative hydroxyl ions in the water and they will form NaOH, while the Cl minus will get attracted to the positively charged protons and they will form HCl. Okay, so if you take a solution of NaCl in water, you will see that it contains HCl and NaOH. But this HCl and NaOH, again they will react with water and get converted into hydronium ions, chloride ions, sodium ions, and OH minus ions. Okay, the reason because this HCl and the NaOH are a strong acid and a strong base. Now remember, a strong acid and a strong base, the word strong tells you that they will immediately ionize as soon as you put it in the solution. So here also the moment HCl and NaOH is formed over here, okay, there's HCl and NaOH which is formed, it is in the aqueous medium. So immediately this will undergo ionization. They will combine with the water molecules which are present in the solution. And once again, they undergo ionization to form H3O plus Cl minus because the HCl donates a proton which will combine with the water to form hydronium ion and Cl minus. Similarly, the NaOH will undergo splitting to form Na plus and OH minus ions. So what has happened here? The ultimate solution contains all the ions. It again contains the same hydronium and hydroxyl ions as were present before. It also contains the Na plus and Cl minus ions. Okay. So in this case, the solution will be neutral in nature because initially when we are taking water, we assume that water is neutral. That means the concentration of hydronium and hydroxyl ions are equal to each other. Okay, and even after adding the NaCl, still the concentration of hydronium and OH minus remains the same. And that is why this solution is said to be a neutral solution. So when you prepare a solution of a salt which is composed of a strong acid and a strong base, okay, the solution obtained will always be neutral. All right. Okay, now let us move ahead and see a salt of a strong acid and a weak base. What happens in this case? So let us consider an example of copper sulfate. So here you can see the strong acid here is sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. Okay, and I'm taking a weak base. The weak base is copper hydroxide. So when sulfuric acid and copper hydroxide combine, it will result in formation of copper sulfate. So this copper sulfate is an example of a salt made up of strong acid, sulfuric acid, and weak base, that is the copper hydroxide. So what happens when I put this copper sulfate in water? Initially, it will ionize to form cupric ions and sulfate ions. Okay, the Cu+2 ions and the SO4-2 ions. Okay, now these are present in the solution. The solution also contains water as the solvent. So what will happen in the water? Again, these ions are going to combine with the ions of water. That means the Cu+2 and SO4-2 ions will react with the H plus and OH minus ions that are present in the water. So if the Cu+2 combines with the OH minus, it will result in formation of copper hydroxide, that is CuOH twice. And if the sulfate ions combine, they will react with the positive ions, that is they will react with the H plus. So when the sulfate ions will react with H plus, it will result in formation of H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid. And remember, sulfuric acid is a strong acid. So it is not going to remain as H2SO4. It will immediately ionize and again get reconverted into H plus ions and sulfate ions, right? So when you put the copper sulfate in water, only the copper ions are going to combine with the ions of water and they will form copper hydroxide, as well as the hydronium ions will be present in the solution. So if you see the overall reaction, that is even if you consider the reaction of sulfate ions, then you will see that finally in the solution, you will have sulfate ions, okay, and hydronium ions present separately. Reason, the H2SO4, which is formed by reaction of sulfate with H plus ions, will not remain as H2SO4. It will further undergo ionization. The H plus and sulfate ions will be formed. H plus will combine with water molecules to form hydronium ions and sulfate ions will remain separate. Okay, that means the final solution which will contain these particular reactants and products. So reactant will be CuSO4, which is unionized, then water which you have already taken in excess. Okay, it forms copper hydroxide by reaction between the copper ions and the hydroxyl ions, and the sulfate ions which have not reacted with the water because they form sulfuric acid and once again splits up to form the hydronium ions and sulfate ions. Now, if you notice, I have denoted these hydronium ions in red. The reason is to highlight that now this solution contains more of hydronium ions, and more hydronium ions or more protons means the final solution is going to be acidic in nature. See, there are no hydroxyl ions. The hydroxyl ions are in the combined state here. So this solution is going to be acidic in nature due to presence of hydronium ions. So in other words, if the salt is made up of a strong acid and a weak base, the final solution will be an acidic solution. All right. Now let us move ahead to the third type of salt, which is made up of a strong base and a weak acid. So here, let us take a weak acid like acetic acid and a strong base like sodium hydroxide. So the salt obtained will be sodium acetate. Acetic acid, CH3COOH, is the weak acid and NaOH is the strong base. So when both of these react, it will result in formation of the salt sodium acetate, CH3COONA. So when I put this in water, it will ionize to form acetate ions and sodium ions. Okay, so acetate ions are CH3COO minus and Na plus ions are formed. Now, when I'm putting this in water, so what will happen? These first of all, it will split to form the constituent ions. Then these ions will react with the ions of water, right? So, ye to negative ion, this is a negative ion. So this is going to react with the positive ion of water. That is, it will react with the H plus ions. So when the acetate ions combine with H plus, it will form acetic acid, CH3COOH. And when Na plus will react with the ions of water, it will react with OH minus. Okay, so oppositely charged ion. So Na plus will react with OH minus. So that will result in formation of NaOH. Now NaOH, remember, is a strong base. So if it is a strong base, will it remain as NaOH? No, it will for again dissociate or it will ionize completely into Na plus and OH minus ions. Okay, so ultimately what is happening, that means in the solution the protons or the H plus ions are getting consumed by the acetate ions and they will be used to form the acetic acid. Acetic acid is a weak acid, so it will not dissociate further, it will remain as acetic acid. Okay, it will dissociate but to a very very small extent. So most of it will be present as acetic acid only. But the sodium ions, if it combines with OH minus, it will not remain as NaOH because it is a strong base. So it will dissociate and form Na plus and OH minus ions. So which ions are present in the solution here? The which will determine the acidity or basicity of the solution. You will see it is OH minus ions, and therefore the solution is going to be basic. So let us see the reactions here. So when I put this sodium acetate in water, as I've shown you here, only the acetate ions will combine with the ions of water to form acetic acid and OH minus is released in the solution. Okay, so what happens to the Na plus? As I told you, the Na plus, even if it is combining with the OH minus, it forms NaOH, and NaOH being a strong base, it will again split up to form Na plus and OH minus ions. That means the Na plus and OH minus are going to remain as distinct ions, but the H plus is consumed and it is present in the form of acetic acid. So now in the final solution, there are no hydronium ions or no H plus ions. What is there is only the hydroxyl ions, and the presence of the hydroxyl ions will make the solution basic in nature. Okay, so in other words, if you look at the formula of the salt, you can understand what is the type of acid and what is the type of base present here. So here it is acetic acid and sodium hydroxide. Acetic acid is a weak acid, sodium hydroxide is a strong base. So this salt is made by combining a weak acid and a strong base. So because the base is strong here, the resulting solution will be basic. Okay, and you have to write down the equations like this to explain why the solution is going to be basic in nature. All right, now let us go to the fourth type of salt, that is salt of weak acid and weak base. All right, so now first we saw salt of strong acid and strong base. There both the acid and the base were strong, we said solution was neutral. Then we saw strong acid and weak base. In that case, because the acid is strong, the solution was acidic. Third, we saw the salt of weak acid and strong base. So the base is strong, therefore the solution was basic. Now we come to the fourth type, where the salt is made up of a weak acid and a weak base. So in this case, what happens? So let us take an example here. Here I have to take a general example. Okay, so I have taken any general example, BA. Now let us assume that BH is the weak acid and AOH will be the weak base. Okay, so here how do we determine whether the solution is going to be acidic, basic or neutral when I put the salt in the water? Okay, now see, Ba has broken up or it has ionized to form B plus and A minus ions. Okay, now these B plus and A minus ions will react with the water, with the ions present in water. So what will B plus do? It will combine with the oppositely charged ion, so it will combine with OH. Okay, so it forms BOH. All right, and A minus will combine with H plus, so it forms HA. Now what is BOH? BOH is a weak base. We have started with a weak base, and HA will be the weak acid. All right, so now when the B plus and the A minus ions, that is when the ions of the salt react with the ions present in water, that means after the hydrolysis reaction takes place, what is formed is a weak base and a weak acid. And what does the weak base and weak acid do? Will it dissociate further? It won't. The amount of dissociation is going to be very, very less. Okay, so it is not going to completely dissociate into ions. So are there any H plus or OH minus ions present here in the free state? No. So by just looking at this, you cannot identify whether the final solution is going to be acidic or basic. So this reaction attains equilibrium, and at the equilibrium you can see there is only formation of weak base and weak acid. There are no free hydronium ions, there are no free hydroxyl ions. Okay, if there were hydronium ions or H plus ions, we will say it is acidic solution. If there were OH minus ions, we would have said it is basic solution. But it is a weak acid and a weak base. They will not dissociate once again to form these ions. So the solution, we do not know whether it is going to be acidic, basic, or neutral. So then how to determine what will be the nature of the solution? Now that depends on the values of their dissociation constants. Okay, so here I have written Ka greater than Kb. What is Ka? Ka is the dissociation constant of the weak acid, and Kb is the value of dissociation constant of the weak base. So if Ka is greater than Kb, that means dissociation constant of the acid is more than the dissociation constant value for the base, then the solution will be acidic. For example, the salt made up of NH4F, that is NH4OH is your weak base and HF is a weak acid, hydrofluoric acid is a weak acid. But compared to ammonium hydroxide, hydrogen fluoride or hydrofluoric acid is a slightly stronger acid. It's not a strong acid, it is a weak acid only, but the acidity is more for HF as compared to that for NH4OH. And that is why, since the Ka value or the acid's dissociation constant is more than the dissociation constant for the base, this solution will be acidic in nature. So you cannot just by looking at the equations, you cannot determine, you have to find out experimentally, calculate the value of Ka and Kb, and then determine whether solution is going to be acidic, basic, or neutral. Okay. Now, now you would have understood that suppose the Ka value is less than Kb, then what happens? That means Kb value is more. So if Kb value is more, the solution will be basic. For example, if I take an acid which is more weaker than hydrofluoric acid, I have taken here HCl. Okay, that is hydrogen cyanide. Okay, so here ammonium hydroxide is comparatively stronger than hydrogen cyanide, than HCl. So the dissociation constant for the weak base is more, and hence the solution is going to be basic. Okay, so this salt is called ammonium cyanide. Now, what happens if Ka is equal to Kb? It can happen, no? It can be that the dissociation constant of the acid as well as the base are equal to each other. Okay, like for example, in ammonium acetate. In sodium acetate, we saw solution was basic because sodium hydroxide is a strong base. But if I take ammonium acetate, ammonium hydroxide, it is a weak base. Acetic acid, weak acid. But the dissociation constant of both these acid and the base are the same. In such a case, the solution will be neutral. Okay, so in today's session, we have understood what is hydrolysis of salts. That is the reaction between the salt ions of the salt and the ions of water. Okay, is called hydrolysis. And why do we need to study hydrolysis? Because based on the hydrolysis, we can determine whether the solution is going to be acidic, basic, or neutral. Okay, if the salt is made up of a strong base, it will be basic solution. If the salt is made up of a strong acid, it will be an acidic solution. But if the salt is made up of both strong acid and strong base, it will be neutral. And if it is made up of weak acid and weak base, then depending on their dissociation constants, you can have acidic, basic, or neutral solution. Okay, I hope this much is clear to all of you all. So with this, we come to an end of today's session. So see you all in my next session. Until then, keep watching and keep subscribing, and do share it with all your friends. Thank you.